program committee, and Ms. Cassandra Boone, who is head of the committee. I am Jack Packer. And we're here to briefly respect and give honor to our veterans. And I'll start by telling you, many years ago, June 6th, I watched someone start doing the math as soon as I said it. Don't do it. But June 6, 1971, we were standing out in front of the graduation hall. All of us, we were newly commissioned second lieutenants. We were standing there in our commission blues, looking good, feeling good. And of course, Vietnam was still going on. And I remember we were going down the line asking, what had we signed up for? And I heard everything, which were very good jobs. Administration, medical, military police, support. And they got to me and they said, well, hey, Pastor, what did you sign up for? I said, well, I signed up for combat arms. I'm dual assigned to infantry, armor, and I'm headed to Ranger School. And I remember a couple of guys said, well, are you out of your mind? Because that means you are certainly going to Vietnam, and people are getting killed over there. And I remember telling them what we're all about today. I said, well, this is our country too. I said, now, I don't want to get killed, but if that's the sacrifice, then that's the sacrifice. I said, because this is our country, and we have to show everyone that we are as good as anyone else in every walk of their life, even going to war, which I don't want to do. So as you can see, things turn out all right. But as a footnote to that, I remember my mother calling me not too long after that, and she said, well, back then she said Jackie Charles. She said, Jackie Charles, I'm going to pray you over there, and I'm going to pray you back. So I just want to point that out. Prayer does work. But today, we're here to celebrate our veterans, those who have served in many capacities. Now, we know about Francis Scott Key. He's been given the credit of writing the Star-Spangled Banner. And one of the things he says that was written for us, for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Well, at that time, we weren't really that free. But we had a lot to fight for. People didn't think that we were good enough. But if you know your history, you know I had to get to that. From the American Revolutionary War and any other war in between, all the way up to the war that you can remember, young folks, there have been African Americans in that war. And not only in that war, but doing very well. And even when we had to fight other peoples of color, we went ahead and did what we had to. Because we respect this country, we love this country, and we were willing to give the sacrifice. But the important things we must remember about our veterans, as I am standing here just trying to give you the occasion of why we're here today, is that even when we fought battles overseas, we had to fight battles at home. And often when our soldiers returned, and I can tell you, as I was called war dog, baby killing, all this stuff, we still fought. So it was a sacrifice. It was a sacrifice of not only being away from family and friends and almost to be killed, it was a sacrifice of being disrespected upon returning to supposedly the greatest nation in the world. As I've told everyone, we were never a true democracy. We were just trying to get there, because until we recognize all people and respect everyone regardless of color, then we're not there yet. But we're trying. Now, Veterans Day. Veterans Day used to be known as Armistice Day. And Armistice is simply, all that means is that the two sides stop fighting. And somewhere along the line, we started calling it Veterans Day because that is more respect. Because it is true to the nature of giving honor to those who actually fight. Those who are living and those who have passed on, whether they were killed in combat or not. So we call it Veterans Day so we can remember. But as you see on the top flag, it is also called Remembrance Day, because you must remember that there are many who have sacrificed. And for those in here who have been there, you know what I mean. Because until you have sweated and you had someone die next to you, or you thought that you would die before sunset, then you may not exactly feel what I'm saying. But take my word for it. If and any time we can give respect to our veterans, we give respect. Because that is truly an individual, man and woman, who has given their all and was willing to sacrifice for this nation. So as we stand here today before you, I want to say that the occasion is simply one that we should respect any veteran. And someone asked earlier, said, well, don't you have a name up there, someone who's no longer at Mount Olive? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What does that matter? It is still a person, a colored person, a former Mount Olive, or soon to be again Mount Olive. I don't care. It is a veteran. And the occasion is that we're here to say, as a group, we're better than most. And we know that we will give a collective honor. So let's give a hand.